The theme of this month, Cultivating Heavenly Sensations. So I took a pause when I heard that. Like, cultivating heavenly sensations, what does that mean to me, right? And right now, with some of the activity that's going on in the world, heaven is not streaming. Heaven is not the thing that we're seeing focused on that is moving through our social media. Peace is not viral, even though there is an amazing activity of monks walking in the United States that are full of peace. It's on my feed, but it's not expressing in the fullness of everyday media. So cultivating heavenly sensations took me a minute to get present with what does that mean in the world of effects. We can't operate on the world of effects, right? We have to be the ones that take dominion. We have to be the ones that take dominion over where our attention goes and how we participate it, and will be the bringers of good. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about taking dominion and revealing that there is so much good. You know, Reverend Kathleen McNamara, I don't know, maybe everybody doesn't know who Reverend Kathleen McNamara is, but she was a former president and director of the Sacred Order of Practitioners at Agape. She was on Reverend Michael's right side for over 20 years. But I was very close with her. She actually married us 11 years ago. And today is our 11-year anniversary. And my husband, Henry, right here. And but she said to me years ago in class when we were together, and there was a bunch of activity that was taking place on the planet at that time, that felt like crisis. And she said to me, I am so far from heaven. I am so far from heaven. This is Kathleen McNamara. Kathleen McNamara, when you see or think or know anything about Kathleen McNamara, you know heaven at hand right through her. So if she has if she can grapple, right? If she can grapple, then that gives us permission to be present with it. And what I'm saying is we're not going to hang out there, right? We're not going to hang out in all the activity that's taking place, but we get to have our moment with it, and then we get to move on. And how do we move on? We take dominion. We have our practice. A saying of mine is, when life is intense, we must intensify our practice. That doesn't mean we have to get active and do a lot of things, but it can mean that. But what it definitely means is that we have to get really clear with who we are and how we're participating on this planet, right? And so part of that intensity, part of our practice is really becoming still. And in that stillness, when we can really be steeped, and especially in community, when we can really be steeped, there is a revelation of activity and pure connection that takes place. I'm sure I'm in a practicing community. I'm sure you're aware of what I'm talking about, right? But again, we have to intensify that. We have to really take, if you're practicing 20 minutes, go 25. Like whatever it is that you can add to your practice, become still, because I will tell you, when you are in that space of connectivity, that is where truth reveals. That is where you know that you're connected. So one of the ways in which I know we're connected is all of the serendipitous activity that takes place. So I will just say, I had this, I had the theme of this talk probably maybe 2 weeks. And when I really was steeped in where it was going, there was a dream, there was a meditation, there were a bunch of things that took place. But what was most remarkable for me is that there was all of the folks that were coming into my awareness that were speaking about the same thing. Even just yesterday in our practitioner meeting, Reverend Cheryl Ward shared with me about, how we are afflicted right now. I know. Now, somebody's going to say to me, well, you're afflicted. Not the best way to start a high and holy conversation. But there's some truth to that, right? There's some truth to that there's an affliction taking place. There's an energy that we're bombarded with media. And I'll just be honest, I'm a scroller. I scroll. So my social media might have some things that are going on in it. But that activity, she said, we are afflicted by a hodgepodge of chaos that is calling for all of us to take dominion. She said that yesterday. So this is why I'm talking about the serendipity, right? She said, take dominion. I'm like, hello, Reverend Cheryl, get out my head. Right? So, but it's true, right? And so this hodgepodge, it's not just the one thing. And I mean, any of us can probably pick one thing that really gets us, right? It really calls for our attention. But there's a number of things. There's the war, rumors of war, there's division, there's againstness, there's the climate, there's the economy, there's all of the things that are being, that are taking place that just call for us to really be present. And that presence is to stand, right? It's to stand and not let that chaos move us into any kind of panic. Not let the againstness that might be taking place move us into participating from againstness. We have to take dominion and know a truth bigger than that. Dominion is choosing what occupies the most valuable real estate in your heart and mind. Dominion is being aware of what occupies the most valuable real estate in your heart and in your mind. So just for a moment, be present with yourself. What is taking up that valuable real estate? Moving beyond what's taking place in the outer world, usually how we respond and what's active in our outer world is usually has some form of relationship to how we are in our inner world. So when I just asked that question about real estate, just be present of maybe the little wars that are going on within and how you get to be with those things, whether it's relationship, finances, work, your creative endeavors, whatever might be going on in there. We want to have that same awareness to just be present with ourselves and be aware of what's taking up that real estate. What I know is that the energy in which we give something, or the attention and the way in which we participate in it, if we are in the world of effects, if we are reacting to all the activity that is taking place, we're kind of flying really low, right? We're kind of flying really low. Another serendipitous moment yesterday in that practitioner meeting, a colleague of mine, Reverend Martin Bonera, he was speaking about being on a boat, right? And he was on this ocean, sailboat in the ocean, Santa Monica, out looking at everything. And the more he floated out, the more expansive his perspective became, right? And he was in that space and he's talking about, and then he goes, and then I get to choose where I'm putting my attention. Hello, this was yesterday in the meeting, serendipity again. This is what we're talking about. We're connected, right? When we practice, we know we're connected. When we expand our perspective, the thing that is loud doesn't have dominion. When we expand our perspective, that thing that was nagging at us, it doesn't have dominion. We have created a space around it. You know, Reverend Kathleen, I'm going to bring her up again. She used to be my practitioner, and at one time she said to me, you know, I think it was before you, babe. I was looking for a relationship. I was looking for a relationship, and what she said to me is, she goes, I don't believe you want one. I don't believe your consciousness is big enough to hold a relationship. Now, I love this woman, and I was a practitioner at the time, and she said that to me, and so I felt a kind of certain way. And so, but what she's saying is true. When we're operating from a small, even myopic consciousness, we can't see what's available for us, right? But if we expand our consciousness, there's room, there's so much more. There's so much more opportunity. So the other, I think it was probably last week, not this past week, but the week before that, I had a dream. I had and it was a lucid dream. It was more of it felt more like a meditative state. But what took place in this dream is I was flying over the world. I was flying over the world, and I was flying into situations of war. I was in the Middle East. I was all over areas of places that I didn't even know names of, and I was also in places where there were fires and there were snowstorms. There was unrest and social upheaval. There was all sorts of activity taking place, that I was flying really low, and it was hot, and then it was cold, and then it was scary, and there was all sorts of activity, and I was seeing it from a higher perspective, but I was in it. And what I noticed that I was flying on was a bomb. I was flying on a bomb in the midst of all of this chaos taking place. And when I realized that I was on a bomb and I was present with myself with the bomb, I realized that that bomb was love. That bomb was not destruction. That bomb was love. I took the power to take that bomb upward. I took it upward. And from the flying and the perspective that I was in upward, I got to see the beauty of the mountains that were around the war. I got to see the forest that was around where the fire was. I got to see the magnificent landscapes of things that were around those snowstorms. I got to see the beautiful cities and all the people in the cities that were rising up for peace in the midst of injustice. I got to see that beyond all of the activity that was taking place, there was good. There was so much good. There is so much good right here where we are, right here within the very essence of our being. Beyond the condition, beyond the circumstance, beyond diagnosis, beyond all of it, there is so much good. We have to take dominion and rise up above the circumstance to be the love bomb. What are we dropping on all of this activity that is taking place? More of it, perpetuating of it? No, we're not saying yes to that. We're saying yes to having an elevated perspective about what is taking place for us in the midst of all activity. I would love to say that we have the power to, I can make sure Sina's operating in the best way possible. I can make sure Henry's operating. No, we only have ourselves. So we get to be the one that shifts our perspective. We take dominion. And in taking dominion, we expand our perspective. And in expanding our perspective, we see so much good. How do we do it? Right? How do we do it when, you're scrolling, right? How do we do it when there's an activity taking place? So I have a couple of practices. The first one, and I love, and some of you who do 21 days knows this practice. So the first one is raise your gaze. Raise your gaze, right? When you're present with something that feels like it's just so in your face, literally lift your eyes. Literally raise your gaze. Right now, I'm looking at this ceiling. Okay, it's not the best view, right? But everything that I'm seeing in my peripheral vision is. I'm aware of the musicians. I'm aware of the instruments. I'm aware of being held over here in prayer. I'm aware of all the activity that is out in the parking lot. I see the palm trees. I see the activity of life. And when I'm seeing that or feeling that in my peripheral vision, I'm actually feeling that there is more activity taking place than what is right here. Raise your gaze. Try it through the course of this day. As you're walking around, if you're outside, raise your gaze, see what you see. It shifts immediately. Deepening our practice, and I already spoke to this about, expanding and intensifying our practice. But when we do this, when we become more present, we are becoming the bringers of the good. So it's one thing to be aware of the good that's everywhere, but we get to bring it when we meditate, when we pray, when we commune, when we create. We get to be the bringers of the good. It's our responsibility. I'm not going to task you with anything heavy, but it's our responsibility to be the bringers of good. Another serendipitous moment. I'm a member of Susie Lula's soul care community. I'm a soul care coach. And we have a mastery, they call it mastery meeting on Tuesdays. And this past Tuesday, we were in the midst of having a beautiful conversation. And one of the other members of the class, she posted the 3 Ks. First I was like, okay, girl. But the 3 Ks. And it's Sanskrit. The 3 Ks are karuna, compassion with mercy. Karsana, plowing, cultivation. Kalum, heavenly sky. Put this together. Karuna, the compassion for ourselves when we are triggered. Karsana, plowing the cultivation, the disciplined cultivation of consciousness. Kalam, the altitude that restores perspective. Now you can't make that stuff up. That came up in that class. So we are held by loving vastness of heaven. Heaven on hand now. Heaven being the awareness of our oneness in God. The opportunity for us to create and commune and love and participate fully. Just speaking about heaven, I could go a whole other route. I'm watching the time. All right. So really, let's be present with the altitude of our consciousness determines the landscape that we see. The altitude of our consciousness determines the landscape that we see. I want to leave you with 3 takeaways. All right. The first one, when we're participating in the activity of life, which we all are, we're here, we're alive, our heart is beating, we have eyes and ears and energy that feels what's going on. When the first question to ask is, am I flying low? Am I flying low? And if that comes up, when you're triggered, pause, breathe, then respond. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to feel your feelings. Give yourself permission to be present with the activity of the world. Be honest, be vulnerable, and have compassion. 2, restore the frame, right? So ask what else is true right here. Where is the good that's still operating? You're going to see it. What is here for me? What's here for me in this? Raise your gaze. Expand your perspective. That's restoring the frame. And then the third thing is practice dominion daily. Practice dominion daily. Choose what takes up the real estate. Right? Cultivate that compassion before commenting. And respond from the altitude of good, not the impulse of what may appear unlike it. We have dominion. Take dominion. I want to close with this. This is from Reverend Michael's theme of the month, his letter to the congregation. It's just a snippet. Reality is this. The presence is everywhere. There is nothing existentially against us. As we learn not to use emotion or circumstance as the measure of truth, we awaken from the intoxicated sleep of separation. In that awakening, we yield and become avenues for real power. Not the power of force, but the power of knowing. Knowing that we are surrounded by good. Knowing that the past, the present, and the future are all held within an infinite field of love, beauty, and intelligence. Take dominion. See the good. There is so much good. Let us move into prayer. So I'm grateful. So grateful to be alive, awake, aware. So grateful for the capacity and the capability that we have to take dominion. Grateful to have any idea about the good that is revealing itself everywhere. Grateful to be in a community of like-minded beloved souls who practice this truth. So I'm grateful to feel into the energy that is established right here in this sacred space, right where whomever is hearing this in this moment is established in a sacred space. So grateful to recognize a power, a presence, a love, a creativity that is active, that is giving, that is generous, that is radiant beauty, infinite joy, perfect peace. It is an ever-evolving, ever-expanding, harmonious good that is, and it is absolute. It is eternal, present everywhere, God and only God. And knowing that this presence is everywhere, I know that it is the very essence of my life, the life of each one here, each unique and individualized being, each one that can hear my voice, each being on the planet, an emanation of the one, each one with the one. No separation, pure radiant spirit, everywhere as all, always. So it is in the awareness of this truth, knowing our oneness in God, that we elevate, that we rise, that we expand the perspective of truth, that we see from the divine perspective, that we know that we are divinely sourced, supplied, guided, and always, always, that there is no other thing, there is no thing against anything. There is only the one thing that reveals itself as all, through all the time, God and only God. And it is in that space that the realization of so much good is made. So much good. Such beauty through all nature, such intelligence through all science. Through the radiant light that reveals itself and makes itself visible from the invisible. This is what is happening as our individual lives and as our collective. So we get to be the bringers of this good. We get to be overflowing with the good, contagious with it, good stewards of it. It's already happening, so let us play in that field. So much good. So I give great thanks. I give great thanks to know this. I give great thanks for the opportunity to speak on it. Know that it's true, happening now, and it is from that place that I release the word into the perfect action of the law, calling it so. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Oh, that's right. And now, I'm going to invite the ushers up, I think. And right now is our time for giving. Thank you for that reminder. So, what a beautiful center we have here. And the opportunity for us to come together and commune in this particular way with all that we get to experience, it comes from our giving. And when we give, we get to be so rooted in the center of the law of circulation. Not only are we giving, we're receiving. Not only have we received, but we get to give. And we get to continue that, to circulate that energy, to hold the high watch with a wide open invitational energy, receiving and giving. So this is the opportunity, please, to give, to support Soul Center OC, to support all that takes place in this beloved community. So here are the ways to give, and I'll just ask the ushers to move forward and receive. And the ways to give, you can text GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 949-990-3211. You can go to soulcenteroc.com. There's a give button, and there's a QR code on the screen. Yes. And in the program. All are tax deductible. The ways of giving are safe and secure. You can also mail to Soul Center, 2082 Business Center Drive, Suite 180, Irvine, California, 92612.